Gotta set up my laptop. Hello, welcome back to my floor. So today, I have decided I get to do a very brainless video because this one and the next one I have to film in like the same 4 days because I'm very busy next week. So yeah, I get to do brainless stuff. Also, I have like a allergy illness thing going on, so if I'm a little stuffier than normal, that is why. But today for my little brainless video, I would like to talk about something I find very important to the lore of myself, and that is men I've had crushes on, or almost have had crushes on in this context, because I've learned for myself that sometimes if I just see enough of somebody, I will develop a crush on them, which is not probably great or healthy, but it is what it is, and I can recognize when it's happening, and that's what's good. So, I call it the exposure therapy method. Some may call it Stockholm syndrome. But today, I would like to talk through 20 odd of these men, all celebrities, all people that are not in my personal day-to-day life, because I think it would be fun for us. I think it would be fun for us. So let me get out my laptop and let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's start with the categories. And I do want to specify that in this tier ranking, there's not really a winner. You don't really win at all. It's just kind of what category you fit into. So at the top we have "Oh Baby, I'll Never Leave," a line from the song Stockholm Syndrome by One Direction. Under that is "Just One More Thing." Like I am one good piece of media away, like one good movie, one good album, whatever it is, away from like you actually getting to stay there. And like, cause "Oh Baby, I'll Never Leave" is like people I've like developed now sustained crushes on, or I'm like, yeah, I can't believe it took me this, I had to like be exposure therapied into a crush, right? One More Thing is like, they're so close. They're like right there. Under that we have "No Yeah." Like, no, yeah, like I get it. No, yeah, I do. But like, I don't think it's ever going to develop past like the slight Stockholming from like one thing or something. What are you doing here? This is just for any weird exposure therapy crush I've ever had. Just in like, some of these are like kind of weird and wild. Then wellness check. Just, am I well? It took that little exposure therapy for you to consider that you had a crush on them. Are you well? So let's get into it. I do believe it is important to note that some of these men, it'll be very specific time periods in my life, like, and it'll be known. Also, I would just like to preface that there will be one extra photo on the end at the bottom because I didn't like the original one, but you have to completely remake your tier list if you want to remove a photo, and like I'm lazy, so I don't want to do that. But with that being said, let's get into it. I am just gonna kind of go across as they are presented to me on this tier list, and we're gonna start with Michael B. Jordan. I distinctly remember like freshman and sophomore year of high school, so like 2015-ish, whenever the first Black Panther came out. Yeah, I think I just got like culturally just like indoctrinated. Like, he's not an unattractive guy, but just like thinking about it realistically now, did I really like him, or was it just like the culture telling me? But he does get to go into "No Yeah." After that, we have very specifically like 2012 to 2015 Brooklyn Beckham. For those of you who might not know, in my friend group, Brooklyn Beckham is the son of David and Victoria Beckham. And when One Direction happened, everyone got really into British celebrities in the US. And that included British celebrities who were like, it would be weird if we had crushes on a little bit at the time because we were like 12, and David Beckham was like in his 30s or 40s. I don't know how old he is. But like, he would have been just old enough that it's like weird for a 12-year-old, but he had a son who's like, what, 4 years older than us? That's fine. Again, just like kind of strange that he's here. So he gets to go in, What Are You Doing Here? Especially because now I have, like, I've heard so many things about him and his now wife, Nicola Pretz. Is that her last name? I never remember her last name. I'm so sorry, babes. Because people are like, they look so good, and they're doing the absolute least on red carpets. Oh my god. After that, we have Ryan Reynolds. Again, like, high school age, like 2016. Everyone was like, Ryan Reynolds is so funny on Twitter. And again, he's very conventionally attractive. But he gets to go next to Michael B. Jordan and No Yeah, because it's like I get the hype. I get the hype, but he's not for me. After this, we have not even the actor, right? Jasper from Twilight, but only the movie version, because like obviously the books are not. I've never seen the Twilight movies. Why is he here? I think it's because I saw enough like screen caps and like the baseball scene, partially. And I was just kind of like, he's cute. So this is a wellness check on my behalf of like, babe, why is he here? You've never seen the movies. Like, there's no justification. I need a wellness check. After this, we have Mr. Austin Butler. Like, this is an Elvis issue. That man kept talking in that voice every interview. But he does get to go and, oh, baby, I'll never leave. 'Cause, yeah. I was so right for getting exposure therapy into that during the Elvis run. Up next, we have Daveed Diggs, who, again, for those who might not know, I know he's done actual acting, and I believe he played Sebastian in the newest Little Mermaid. I know Daveed Diggs because Hamilton happened in like 2015, 2016, and he plays Lafayette and then Thomas Jefferson in the show. And I was a little too into Hamilton in like 2016. And let's just say, between him and Anthony Ramos, there wasn't a lot for me to look at, because a lot of these guys, they're dads, they're in like their 40s, and just very not my type. I think we should all be grateful Lin-Manuel is not on this list. But yeah, just, he was there, and I think it's funny. So, what are you doing here? I do read it. Is it Nicki Minaj? If I find it, I'll play the clip. That's like, what are you doing here? And she's like laughing.
New episode of Queen Radio happening. Ariana, what are you doing here?
Anyway, next we have A$AP Rocky. See, here's my issue with this one. Do I actually personally find him attractive, or does he just dress well? Because, like, he and Rihanna will go out and they'll be, like, dressed. But I think he's, like, just one more thing. He's my first just one more thing. Oh, that's so cute. Next, we have, George Russell. For those of you who don't know, I say loosely, follow Formula One. Mostly because it's boring right now, and because I care more about the drivers and their interpersonal lives with each other, and more importantly, their girlfriends or wives. I care more about them than the actual races. George Russell is one such driver. I initially had a little bit of a exposure therapy crush to him when he was at Williams, which is not a team that's been doing well recently at all. And then he moved to Mercedes, and now he's doing well. And, like, something about that just made me go, ugh, ugh. But, like, he's a conventionally attractive man. I don't think he'll ever move anywhere else, so he can go to No Yeah. Up next, staying in the UK, Lewis Capaldi. Yeah, sometimes men who are funny just get to be places. And I will take personality. Personality gets you so far for me. Up next is Matt Bennett. For those who don't remember, Matt Bennett played Robbie in Victorious. I'm talking specifically like post-Victorious, what was it? The Break Free Ariana Grande music video era of Matt Bennett. Like, yeah, he's attractive, but also, like, what are you doing here, Matt Bennett? Why are you here? Next, Paul Mescal. Like, I get it. Have I ever watched anything he's ever done? No. I could have gone and seen him in Streetcar Named Desire. I wasn't going to because the play sucks, but, like, I get it. I'm very close to being Stockholm Syndromed into, like, getting him on my main PowerPoint. So he's, like, for having never seen anything he's in, he's at Just One More Thing. Insane behavior, isn't it? And when I reference my other PowerPoint, I do have a PowerPoint of every celebrity crush I've ever had, and they're ranked. And you will never get to see that. You will never get to see that, because nobody needs to know who my top 10 is. Up next, we have another Formula One driver. This one's Australian. This one's Daniel Ricciardo. And I'm just gonna move him up here into Oh Baby, I'll Never Leave, like, immediately at the front. Because again, he had a bad haircut when I was first introduced to this man. And I think that says a lot. And through personality and perseverance and a couple good photo shoots, he got there. Okay, that is what exposure therapy does for me. Up next is Timothy Chalamet. And oh, do I have beef with this one. If you do not know, I, for some reason, I can't even explain it. I don't like him. There's something about him I don't like. I would fight him. I don't know if you remember, back in, like, 2020, there was, like, a trend on TikTok for a while where it was, like, whoever is born, like, 52 days before you is, like, your greatest enemy. Hey, it's Timothy for me. Fun fact. His birthday is 52 days before mine. Okay? And I choose to believe that's why. But I would fight him. He is really just here, though, because he did Lori in Little Women. And I don't know if we could tell about the everything from me. I am very Amy coded. So this does go into wellness check for me, specifically with all that background of, like, I don't like Timothy Chalamet. That's hot. Make it make sense. Speaking of Timothy, I'm so excited to go giggle at Wonka. I'm not gonna go pay for it. Absolutely not. But the CGI looks yikes. That is all I would say on that. Up next, another thing slightly related to TikTok. I don't know if you remember, like 2020, 2021, there was a big revival of people, like, talking about Harry Potter on TikTok. Like, it got really heavy in that year. And people are like, why didn't we, like, the Weasley twins were so hot. Like, that just played, and it got so goddamn close for me finding these two men attractive. Like, they're not unattractive, but just, like, not, like, they would never make it on the PowerPoint, if that makes sense. Like, my PowerPoint is pretty much either you have to hit, like, Oh Baby, I'll Never Leave, or it's, like, I had to have had a strong enough feeling about you the whole time. Even if it was exposure therapy, Stockholm Syndrome style crushes. I think that's a wellness check, because that is how influential TikTok was on my little rat brain. This next one's good. Big Time Rush. Okay? I am a Logan girl. But tell me why. I was, like, exposure therapy to almost thinking I was a James girl as a kid. James. Bandana man. Look. James. Like, again, not on a drag, but like, we saw how they were dressing these men. We did. This is, what are you doing here for me? Speaking of boy bands and staying in the boy band theme, I would just like to nugget I love my boy band members because even though they're not all next to each other, let's just do it. So we're gonna jump to One Direction. And I had very, very toxic friends when One Direction first happened, and everyone had to have a different favorite member. And those two had already picked that they got Harry and Niall. So what does that leave me with, right? We're talking like 2011, 2012 One Direction. Fresh out the womb, One Direction. Who do you pick? I picked Liam Payne. What was that? What was that behavior? That is diabolical and definitely in need of a wellness check. Diabolical behavior on my end. But yeah, because I had to pick my own favorite member, I kind of almost Stockholmed myself into having a crush on him. Jumping back over to One Direction. Not One Direction. Jumping back over to Big Time Rush. With Kendall. I like Stockholmed myself into like having a crush on him. And like now it's justified. But at the time, absolutely was not. So thinking about it at the time Big Time Rush was released, because that is the context we're going in, we're gonna go with No Yeah. Okay? And to round out boy band members, Zayn from One Direction. But only specifically Zayn in like the very like Princey era. Baby, if you would have shown me one more thing, just one more thing of that era, really even now, I don't hate his like head it's not great, but I don't hate it. I'm very much one more thing for Zayn Malik right now. I'm not gonna sit here and defend his music, defend his actions, any of that, but like, potentially. Moving right along. Zac Efron. But specifically, like, High School Musical 3 Zac Efron. Was I, like, 9 or 10? Yeah. Yeah, I was. Does that matter to me? Absolutely, it does not. It's the epitome of being, like, 9 and may your delulu become true. Like, was he, like, kind of engaged to Vanessa Hudgens at the time? Absolutely, he was. Did that stop, like, 10-year-old me? No. So he gets to go in No Yeah. I'm like, No Yeah. I'm like, I get it. I'm next. This is where we get into, like, two back-to-back that are, like, weirdly questionable. First, we have Prince Harry. I don't know if this is an experience other American kids got, but when the royal wedding for Kate and William happened, we got to watch it in class. So we got to see Prince Harry at like 2011, 2012. And like, he was like 31 and he doesn't look bad now, but he was looking fit back then. Like, let's be honest. But as someone who's raised in the American school system, I just think it's funnier to put him in What Are You Doing Here? Like, genuinely, what are you doing here, Harry? Up next is a little more niche of a person, YouTube-wise. Is Andrew Sawicki. You know when Shane Dawson had like that weird renaissance where everyone started watching Shane Dawson videos again because he was doing like these quote-unquote documentaries that are absolute garbage and not good? Yeah, you know his cameraman Andrew, who now works with Garrett Watts full-time? Yeah, he's here. Wellness check is all I have to say on my end. Up next, Jacob Elordi. I have no feelings for this man. Absolutely zero. When I look at you, I feel nothing, right? But like, then I saw the Saltburn trailer. Okay, and like that one Esquire shoot, you know, the one where he's in like the corset. And I was like, but you're the kissing booth guy who had to like physically bend halfway over to kiss Joey King. Like, I've never watched Euphoria. I don't care to. It bores me as a concept, right? But like, if Saltburn does what Saltburn should do, you're at Just One More Thing, my guy. Insane behavior. Up next, we have our third and final Formula One driver. This one is far more recent, and it's concerning to me because I hated this man for like 3 seasons of Drive to Survive. And now, because the F1 YouTube channel releases this thing called Grill the Grid, where they make these kids who, like, they're not kids, they're all older than me. Well, not all of them, but most of them. Anyway, they make these drivers who, like, stopped formal education around 13 to 15 answer questions. They don't know a thing. And it's, like, weirdly endearing Lance Stroll to me. And I think in the greater context of my life, it is a wellness check. Up next, Mr. Gosling, Mr. Ryan Gosling. Specifically during the Ken promo, like, I was, like, getting indoctrinated. Like, I don't care about The Notebook. I hate La La Land. But Barbie, I sat down and I was like, maybe they were right. Maybe they were right. So I think in the context of Barbie, it is straight up, like, is he just one more thing or no, yeah? He's no yeah for me. Like, I get it. I understand where I'm coming from in that sense, but, like, I don't think that's ever gonna change. This is the one I'm gonna have to do the most defense for, like, backpedaling. And in my defense, it's kind of hard to find a great photo of Michael Sheen. What was he in that people would know? He's in the Good Omens thing with David Tennant. Him and David Tennant are just pals. They're buddies. I don't know if anyone else watched the really bad, I think it was ABC. I say really bad. It was actually kind of good. I enjoyed it. It was this crime show called Prodigal Son, where this guy, his dad was a serial killer, and now he solved crime, right? He played the dad. I don't know what it is. A little wormed into my brain. My little brain full of holes. But I was like, yeah. Yeah. I'm putting that in wellness check for me. And then finally, because again, we will have one extra photo, I'm gonna do Mr. Cillian Murphy. Like, no, I get it. One of my friends who's a lesbian, like, this is her male celebrity crush. Like, I do get it. I get why people find him attractive, but there's something where my brain just, like, can't click it, and, like, I don't know. But, like, he's gonna go in no yeah for conventional attractiveness points. But yeah. So, and then again, that last photo was just a different one of Lance where his head got, like, half cut off, so I had to replace it. But I'm looking at it. I'm ruminating. And I think I'm gonna actually move Liam up a line to "What are you doing here?" because that's funnier to me. But I think this is it. This is where we're gonna keep it. If you've seen my PowerPoint and you know who's on it, no, you don't. You don't get to say anything. But also, if you've seen my PowerPoint already, I did rearrange it, like, recently, like the night before I filmed this. So if you'd like to see it, let me know again, besties. But yeah, that is all I have today for my fun little brainless video. I have a pretty good idea of one in the works, but I've got to go out and, like, film for it. So, like, we'll see if that actually happens. But yeah, I have nothing else to say to you. I will not defend my life choices, but I've had crushes on to you, people on the internet. If you're my friend and you're concerned about me, just call me, okay? But yeah, that's about all I have. Oh my god. My foot's asleep and it's at the tingly phase where it kind of hurts. Oh god. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that is all I have for this week. I will see you next week, and by next week I mean in, like, 24 to 48 hours for me. So yeah, that's all I have. I will see you next time. Okay, bye. Ooh, gotta undo my leg. My foot is asleep entirely.